Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Inspired Tribe. Welcome to the Inspired Livestream here on the Inspired channel. I think this is the Inspired Livestream number 158, and yeah, 158 times. And this is May 4th, Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. And we're excited that you guys are here. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. For all of those who are tuning in, who are new to the live stream, this is our motto. This is our mantra. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. The mantra came from the first live stream that we did in March of 2020, last year, when the whole world decided to go a little crazy. And so we're excited that you're all here. So repeat after me. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. It's a beautiful mantra, and you can literally say that to yourself 700 times a day. It will definitely put a beautiful vibration out there and in there. And I want to welcome everyone. I also want to let you guys know that whenever you see this live stream, whether it's live, or whether it's later live, which means that you watch it whenever you're ready, it's still live for you. It doesn't matter if the date is August 2020 or if it's today's date. You are live whenever you're there, and treat it like that, because what we firmly believe in is that messages find us at the perfect time. It cannot be any other way. So whenever a message finds you, it's the right time for you. And we wanted this to be a catalog of live streams that people can find, and they can find, and the live streams can find the people, and something that is a living thing. That's what we always say when this is interesting too. I want to share this because we do EUCY one-on-one sessions. And for those of you who don't know what or who EUCY is, there's plenty of EUCY sessions that we did in the live stream, so check them out. For those of you who do know who EUCY is, our friends from the other side, Eternal Universal Consciousness, why? We've been communicating for now 11 years or 12 with them. And the beautiful thing is that the people that do one-on-one sessions, we record them, and then they can later listen to them. It's a living recording. What does that mean? It means that the listener, the person who had the conversation, always says, I can't believe what I heard. A month after the conversation, I don't remember it. It's like something has changed. It's a living recording, and it's kind of the same with the live streams. They're living recordings. Now, believe it or not, they do change over time. And what really changes is your perception and how you hear things. But these things are true, and they are real. And so we wanted to welcome you all, our new tribe members. This is a loving, open space. Everyone is welcome. We have literally such a loving tribe. I mean, there's so much love, so much compassion, so much willingness to help, inspiration. It's such a wonderful community. So we encourage you all to connect with each other here, or we're on Telegram. Join us on Telegram. We are on Facebook. Join the Facebook group. Wherever is a good place for you, and connect with each other. This is what this is all about. And today's topics is today's topics. There's always more topics, but today's topic is dangerous side effects. And this is something that Kristin and I really remember this well. Right before we took our little break here and disappeared for a while, I was taking a shower, and showers, some of you know this, running water is always such an inspiring space. It just ideas flow in, and realizations come in. And I realized, I had realized this before, just it kind of came to me. And I want to explore this a little bit, because this is going to make so much sense to all of you. We are a side effect society. That's the reason why we're dealing with all the things that we're dealing with. And I always want to peel the onion. We always want to look at the big picture and move to the place of empowerment. But we have learned one thing. If we take the straight line to the place of empowerment, the puzzle pieces in the middle are missing. And so many times people then go out into everyday life, and they go out and they do their thing, and they go out and they don't understand why what they feel in here isn't compatible with what's going on in the world. And that's why we always look at the big picture. Look at how the mechanisms and the programs of the world work, and what we can do to change our inner state of being which then recreates or creates a new outer reality. So that's always the aim here. And one of the things that we realize is, as humans, as a society, as a collective, for the longest time we have distanced ourselves from the true purpose of the most basic things in our lives. If you look at, I'll give you a very simple example. We're today a complete foodie society. We're not a food society. We're a foodie society. Everything is designed. Food is designed. Meals are designed. And it's become an art form, and it's become this huge industry. And I'm not even talking about the art form where you really pure ingredients. I'm more talking about that the real purpose of food, the real purpose of these beautiful herbs and veggies and fruits and nuts and seeds and everything that we get from nature, we forget about the real purpose. We think it's about pleasure. We now think it's about getting more of it. We think it's about stimulating our taste buds. We think it's about getting the chemical kick of a rush that we get through food. That's not what the purpose of food was. The purpose of food was to nurture our bodies, to give them beautiful nutrients that our bodies need, but also to be a source of healing for any imbalance that we have. That is the real purpose of food. And the food that is industrially produced and that is processed and that is artificially flavored and preserved, this food does nothing. It doesn't serve the purpose. And so we have moved so far away from the real purpose of what real food nutrition really means. And this is such a big picture. Bear with me here. This is bigger than food, but it includes food. So we are distancing as a society, ourselves from nature. We're distancing ourselves from the real purpose. And so, because we're distancing ourselves, it doesn't seem so far-fetched now to artificially produce things completely. And if you haven't been paying attention, the idea that the social engineers have for humanity is to not rely on natural food anymore, but on lab-produced compounds that have the nutritional elements in there, but that have no life. Something that is lab-produced doesn't have real, authentic life. It has artificial life. It isn't real, authentic life. And so because we don't understand nature and the natural connection to nature and food anymore, we have distanced ourselves so far. This is the same thing with so many other things. We have talked about this. We've talked about sexuality in the Matrix. We have distanced ourselves from the real purpose of a union, from a real purpose of this most creative energy, sexual energy, most creative energy, and the real purpose of what it actually was intended for, to a source of a quick rush and pleasure and so many other things. Now we're substituting our emotional, our soul needs with physical activity, with getting an orgasm, with getting the rush. And so we're living for side effects. We're living for side effects, not the real purpose of the thing that it was intended for. And because we're living that way as societies, we're constantly distancing ourselves more and more from the actual purpose of our life and from the actual purpose of us as creators. And this is something that we all need to think about, because only when we realize that, we can find our way to the actual purpose of things. And we have an intended purpose. Nature has an intended purpose. And what the social engineers or programmers, and these I call the people that are broadcasting their messages through TV, through the internet, through the big news networks, where they have access to you. What they're constantly broadcasting to you is you're an inferior, imperfect, and very small being that relies on technical engineering, biological engineering, that will soon rely on artificial intelligence, or does already, and that we need all these things to function as human beings. And I'm telling you with the conviction of my whole life, with everything that I have, that is a complete fabricated, it's fiction, it's a lie, it's not true. We do not need to implant chips into our brains. We do not need to genetically modify food and bioengineer fake compounds that will serve as food. We do not need to misuse and abuse the bodies in our bodies. We need not to use our pleasure centers to substitute real, true soul food and real, true fulfillment and meaning in our lives. It's just something that we were taught to do. But just as we have learned this, we can step away and learn the true, authentic meaning of life. And this is where we always come to is these are just habits. These are not eternal truths. What we have learned how to live, and we misuse the concept of food, and then we feel so bad. We need chemically produced pills and shots and meds to deal with the side effects of that. And can you see that we're in a wheel that only spins faster and faster, and it does not serve us? So we have to understand this, and that's just one part of the equation, is understanding this. Most people suffer because they don't think about these things, or don't allow themselves to think about these things, because it might not feel good to think about these things. But it is important, because only when you allow yourself to see the contrast, you can actually shift over to what you really desire and want. And so why it is important to do this research, and this is really research, and many of you have done this, is because you can make better choices. If you don't understand that your tap water isn't safe to drink, it's not just not safe to drink, it's actually harmful to drink if you are in most countries today, because it is full of chemicals, full of fluoride, full of various trace elements of meds and things that get into through because of other people taking them. So you don't even know the little trace parts that are still in there. There's so much in that water that we can't even call it water. And we have to understand that water, for example, is the biggest transmitter of information that we know. It stores and transmits information. So if we don't have clean water, and water is the source of our lives along with oxygen, how are we supposed to function fully and in a real, true, authentic human manner? And these things are important to understand. These things are important to know and think about, feel about. So it is our purpose as teachers to not just teach the mind how to create, a more successful state, well-being state. It's not just that. It is really to speak about the things that matter to the whole system that we are, to our vibration. If we don't get real authentic food, our vibration gets lower. If we don't get clean water, we lower our vibration. If we put toxic things in our minds and bodies, we lower our vibration constantly, which creates sickness, which creates all these things. This is a holistic approach to life. And we encourage everyone to really examine your lives and see, where are you doing things for side effects? Not to judge yourself, not to put yourself down, but are you an emotional eater? Do you use foods? And usually we don't use good foods to, be an emotional eater. We use sugar, and we use a lot of salt and fat and all these quick stimulants to emotionally compensate for needs that we have. So, for example, when people are sad, they use sugar a lot of times. When people are bored, or when people are in a state of non-fulfillment, they will use snacks a lot and lose track of how much to eat. None of these things really serve ourselves, serve our bodies. They, to the contrary, they just create more misery in the long run. And this is, again, not something to point fingers. This is never to say, oh my God, you are an emotional eater, stop doing it. It's to realize that, is to become aware, because we can only change what we are aware of. And so we're picking up a lot of topics in the live streams because we want to bring awareness, because only where there is awareness, it's like when you are cleaning your house, when there is a dark room, you can't clean that room because you don't see. When you turn on the light, you can actually see where it's dirty and you can clean it. And it's the same with our lives. What we are not aware of, we cannot change. And so we have to become aware and then make better choices with it. But I believe we're hearing about technology, we're hearing about artificial intelligence, we're hearing about this new complete digitalization of the whole world of biology. It's literally what the topic is out there, really. While, while there are some side flares going on, the main focus of this new revolution is to completely digitalize everything, your biology, your body, your brain, to hook it all up to the new internet, to make it all artificially um, be influenced by artificial intelligence to the point where you won't know whether you made the decision or a computer made the decision for you. And what we want to tell humanity and the people that we can reach is that is neither the solution, nor does it have to be the way, nor are we incomplete, nor are we imperfect. We just haven't realized it. We just have been told we are. We want to tap into the true power that we have so we can all realize that we can use technology as a helpful tool, but not as something that we base our lives on, and that's the foundation of our existence, and that replaces our own thinking, that replaces our own feeling, that replaces our ability to critically examine the world around us and make choices that serve us. And so this is a big picture. It isn't just about understanding how to create. It's also understanding in the context of our lives on this planet how to create, and what looks like a good idea but really isn't at all. And I keep hearing these things. That's why I keep bringing them up, because I want everyone to know that if you're not paying attention, that's where the train wants to go. And there is a train that will go there. There's no doubt about it. There are people that will jump on that train, that will embrace it, because they have lost their ability to think critically, or they have never believed that they are actual divine beings. They believe they're just a product of coincidental biology. And we don't believe that. We believe we have purpose. We believe we come here for a reason. We believe we're powerful creators, and we believe we are the most powerful creators, at least on this planet, but probably in looking big picture, in the whole universe. And we believe that we have been given the abilities naturally to become complete creators, and that we don't need to become hybrids. We don't need to live for side effects. We don't need to abuse substances or abuse people, and distance ourselves further from the real purpose of the things that we talked about. And that's an awareness thing. And that's something that some days it's just something that might create a little bit of sadness when you realize it, but really it empowers you to make better and better and better decisions. And if anything, in our lives, and personally for me in my life, I've had more turnaround moments than I can count. And when I talk about a turnaround moment, it means that I believed something and later realized I was walking in a completely wrong direction according to my inner being, my highest self. And I completely turned around because I realized a new horizon has opened. I'm looking at this completely the wrong way, or I used to. And again, it's not about putting yourself down, criticizing yourself, or pointing fingers. It's about realizing that and then making better new choices. And one of the things that, because we began with this topic today, was food, because I've always looked at these. I'm always amazed still when I go through a big grocery store, the amount of products that are artificially produced, that are processed, that if you look at them have nothing in them that really serves you. And we understand there's a whole industry that does nothing but study your taste buds, study how you psychologically and chemically react to certain substances. And they try to put as much of these substances into food as possible, because their whole aim is not to contribute to your perfect nutrition. It's to make you buy more of their stuff. And that's a completely different angle. And we need to understand that, and we need to become aware of it so we can make better choices. And there's nothing like, before we came on here, we just had a bowl of salad that was grown in our own garden, and that was nourished with love. And Christine had put it in there, and we just cut that off the salad, put it directly into the bowl. It was literally 5 minutes before we ate it. That is real, fresh, living food. It feels good. You can feel how it serves your body. You can feel how it serves your whole being. And this is such a beautiful, important topic. And there's nothing more fulfilling and satisfying than doing that. And so slowly but surely, this is not an overnight thing. Become aware of these things in your life. Really pay attention to why you're doing something. Why are you attracted to doing something over and over again, and does it really serve you? And if it doesn't serve you, think about what the intended purpose of that thing was. What do you think the grand creator wanted us to do with our creative/sexual energy? Because creativity is really what, chemically speaking, it's sexual energy. What do you think the creator wanted us to do with that? Do you think the creator wanted us to just spread it and to just release it without intention, to just use it for no purpose whatsoever? Do you think that there was an intended purpose? And how does it change the creation of new life, for example, if this energy is being used purposeful with an intention and with a vision and with a wish to create something new? And it is the time. It's just a time on our planet in our human history to realize those things, because there is a movement, and that movement is pulling anyone with it that isn't aware of these things. Whatever people are not aware of, they just jump on a train. That's just how things. That's our nature. If we're not aware of something, we're just going to go with the next best thing. But if we become aware, we can make real choices. We can connect. We can meditate on it. We can find our path on this, and we can shift. That's what we're doing collectively, but we could do way better. Honestly, we could do way better, and we could do it quicker. We could do it faster. We could shift this planet to a more loving, more authentic, more natural place, to a peaceful place, to a friendly place, to a kind place. Holistically speaking, way quicker than we are. And it is up to us to become more disciplined in that, to really turn off the TV, to really turn off the news, to not pay so much attention to the pop cultural things, to not believe that you need so many other things, substances, people, and that you need a whole network of things and ideas and technology to just exist as a human being. You're far superior. You actually are. You are the perfect biocomputer. And I just use that word because it makes it easier to understand, but you already are everything that you need. You've been given that. And that's something that we need to realize, unleash, work on, release, and expand. We really need to expand. We need your loving presence on this planet. We need your clarity. We all need your authenticity. We all need those things. And that cannot happen as long as we're worried about all the side effects, and as long as we're running from one thing to the next. And as long as we're putting our attention on these outside sources that do want to distract us. Because a distracted, non-thinking human being is one that can be manipulated. A aware, conscious, thinking human being cannot be so easily manipulated. And that's the purpose of this conversation, is to realize those things. And so it's what we have done over the better part of the last 2 decades, really, is to become aware, change habits, change beliefs, look at what we were presented with, and lovingly accept that most of it wasn't very beneficial to us, humanity, or the planet. And that's what it's all about, realizing that and changing it. And thankfully so, I've just made a post the other day about everyone who's realizing that they have been living in a matrix for so long. Don't worry. Once you realize that you're ready to exit the matrix, and there's millions and millions and millions and millions of people already waiting for you. We're already waiting for you to join us, to create something real and authentic, to create something that we were always intended to create, to see how powerful we really are when we realize who we really are. And those things can only happen with awareness, with consciousness, and with the willingness to create that change, with the willingness to put in the work, with the willingness to show up for yourself and for your fellow humans in the big picture. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. And this is important. This is really close to our hearts, and we bring this up in one way or another, and find different angles. But there would be so many other topics to talk about that speak to the same thing. We just believe we got the picture across. We always, always want to leave on a really inspiring note. And there's something that I wanted to share with you all. As a general, I think I talk about this quite a lot, about our beautiful tribe members that we have gotten to accompany and be with on the journey through the membership calls, through the courses, through the ICA, the Inspired Coaching Academy. We see so many shifts. We see people that are the shift. They are the shift. They make shift happen. They make real shift happen. And they show up, and they sometimes it takes all of them to do the showing up. We understand that. But here's the thing. If you show up, if you show up one time more often than you don't show up, things shift in your life. If you get to step out of your habitual patterns and actually show up for yourself, things do shift, and they just keep shifting from there on out. That's just it. That's just the beautiful work that we talk about here. I want to congratulate all our Inspired Tribe members who are shifting themselves, who are shifting their communities, their families, their planet. All of us who are raising the vibration. Tap yourself on the shoulder every now and then. Realize that you're doing wonderful work, and keep going. Keep going. There's beauty. There's so much beauty that's still left unseen and unheard and undiscovered, and we're going to discover it together. So a big, beautiful, loving shout out to all of our Inspired Tribe members for all you do, and for the love that you spread and the inspiration that you spread. Thank you all so much. We also wanted to invite you to the second membership call. We have a second membership call now that's happening tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central, and it's free of charge tomorrow. First one's on us. Just send us an email to 365inspiredliving@gmail.com and just say, I want in, and you'll get the link. And it's happening tomorrow, and we're going to walk you through how these membership calls work. We're excited to see you. This is going to be another beautiful and epic journey. And so come join us. That's happening tomorrow. Just send us the email. And other than that, we'll see you on Thursday, 2 p.m. Central, right here on the Inspire channel. And remember, there's now 158 live streams in this playlist. If you go back and see and feel your way, there's so many living records out there. So if you feel inspired to click one, watch it, see if there's something in there for you. Next time, bring your friends, bring your family. Let's make this tribe bigger. Let's spread the message of love and inspiration to even more people across the planet. Thank you for being with us. We love you. Kristin and I love you. And we'll see you on Thursday. Have a wonderful and inspired rest of your day.